Hello everyone, my name is Santi Widiasih. My student number is 188114040 and I'm going to talk about death penalty for juvenile. The death penalty is not about whether people deserve to die for the crimes they commit. The real question of capital punishment in this country is, do we deserve to kill? By listening to that quote from Brian Stevenson, does it make us wondering that is it proper for us who are also human to give death penalty to fellow human, especially to a teenager? As we all know that the death penalty is still being debated by the public, considering that Indonesia is highly respect human rights. If this death penalty is given to the juvenile, it is very inappropriate for them to just lose their dreams and futures. And if the death penalty is given to the juvenile, will other society immediately stop committing crimes? As you guys can see around us, with such regulation, there are still people who will violate and continue to commit criminal acts. Capital punishment or death penalty is one of the oldest type of punishment in its age and the most controversial of all the criminal system, both at Anglo-Saxon country with their common law system as well as in continental European country with civil law legal system. The death penalty is a sentence or sentence imposed by a court or without a trial as a form of the harshest punishment imposed on a person for their actions. Although the existence of the death penalty has been stipulated in the legislation, but the existence always led to disagreement among the people of Indonesia. Death penalty often raises different views in the various elements of Indonesian society, from ordinary people to state officials have different views about this death penalty. These different views have led to debates for and against the imposition of the death penalty in Indonesia. They who agreed said that the perpetrators of serious crime deserve the death penalty to be a deterrent effect, while they who doesn't agree with the death penalty said that the death penalty is contrary to the Constitution and the principle of human rights, where each person has the right to live and only God can take the life of human being instead of a state. Indonesia itself still imposes the death penalty in the national criminal law as stipulated in the Criminal Code or KUHP of Dutch heritage. However, for juvenile themselves, the death penalty cannot be given as written in the book Politik Kebijakan Hukuman di Indonesia dari Masa ke Masa states that the requirement of the death penalty should be limited to the most serious crime, which in its development, for example, should not be applied to perpetrators of crimes who are still in teenager. In accordance with Article 6, Paragraph 2 of the ICCPR or International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights regarding the death penalty in countries that have not abolished it, like in Indonesia. The death penalty should not be given to juvenile by considering manufacturer. I strongly believe that the death penalty should not be imposed on juvenile because based on Juvenile Court Act, Law Number 3, year 1997, Article 26 says that the maximum penalty for juvenile is half of the punishment which would be given to an adult in the case of an offense where the death penalty will be appropriate. For a juvenile, the maximum sentence is 10 years imprisonment. If we look at the side of human rights, each person has the right to live and only God can take the life of human being. And they're just children. Children are our hope and for the future and asset for our country. They need guidance and protection in order to guarantee their physical and mental growth. Besides, juveniles are still underdeveloped and immature. According to the research, the area of the brain responsible for reason, impulse control, and decision making are not fully developed in juvenile. As such, they shouldn't be held responsible for what they do, and it would be inappropriate if they were immediately given the death penalty. Because of their immaturity, adults and children are also more likely to be coerced by adults and are sometimes the pawns of more sophisticated criminals. They are also more likely to be taken advantage of during the investigation of criminal case. Juveniles are often intimidated by adults and authority figures and are therefore more likely to be victim of course, confession, which are often false. As I speak, if we use this death penalty on juvenile, it is not certain that this punishment will make other people death rate for committing criminal acts. So we should not only be fixated on the punishment for this crime only, but we must look at it the human side too. Are we willing to kill fellow human, especially teenagers who are still immature to think about the consequence of their action? I hope we're not. And lastly, I hope that if in the future there are cases involving juvenile, we as an adult can think more broadly and open up our human side more so that this juvenile will not lose their future and dreams just because they were given that penalty. Thank you.